Alright. Woo! Good morning, Axial Scale builders around the world. It's your boy Josh, aka Coleman, and you are now watching ScaleWars, Axial's official Battle of the Builders. What's going down, everybody? I hope you're having a good start to your weekend. Sorry for the late episode again. I know it's happened at least 2 or 3 times now, but there's no actual set release time, so I'm still kind of playing with the times to see how things go. And I'll be 100% honest, I slept in this morning. It was rough. It's been a long week. I've been grinding things out. I finally just about caught up on all of my back work since Axial Fest, which was really rough. So back on the grind, and I just wanted to say thank you guys for tuning in, man. I'm glad you're here. Let's get into this episode. We've got Axial Wraith based builds today. I keep getting hounded by you guys in the comments about Wraiths. People hitting me up on Facebook, where's the Wraith episodes? People want to see some buggies. So we're going to start doing more Wraiths, more bombers, more Yetis, maybe even some Exos. If you guys have some Exos you want to submit. The point is, though, you guys have to submit the builds before I can show them off. So that being said, let's go ahead and move on over to the battleground, get this battle underway. Yeah. All right, everybody, welcome to the battleground. It's about to go down. We've got Axial Wraith on deck today. First up is a Poison Spyder Edition Wraith. This one comes from a gentleman named Brecon. He's actually a young man, and I was pretty stoked to see that he entered in his build. He actually entered it in quite a while back, but I just hadn't got to a Wraith category yet. So we're going to get into it now. If you guys want to enter your builds, you know what to do. Go ahead and go to www.extremescaleperformance.com, slide on over to the ScaleWars tab. You can enter there, you can follow scores there, you can read all the rules and regulations, all that good stuff right there. And yeah, go ahead and get your builds entered. We've got all kinds of categories. You can enter anything from trophy trucks to buggies to rock racers to, you know, super realistic pickup trucks or Jeeps, or it doesn't even matter. If you guys have an Axial based build, you can enter it there. So I love to see what you guys come up with. It's all about creativity. It doesn't matter if it's mild or wild. It doesn't matter if you've been doing it for 20 years or you've been doing it for 2 years. It really does not matter. Just go ahead and get involved. Have some fun with it. It's all about the community. Anyways, let's get into this today. You guys bear with me. This gentleman right here, he's a real young man, and his pictures, you know, they're kind of actually lower quality, but I really wanted to feature the guy. So his name is Brecon. He is he's from Iowa here in the United States. He is 12 years old. He might be older than that now. I don't know. He entered this build a little while ago. So let's see. He says he has been subscribed to Extreme Scale Performance for 1 week. He says he has been watching for a couple of months. What year did he start building RCs? He started building RCs in 2012. As far as the project name goes, he says this one, he just calls it the Axial Wraith Poison Spyder RTR, so he just calls it what it is. And then now we're going to get into the detailed parts and paint list here. And I'm just going to read out what he's got. He says he's got a Hobby Wing Easy Run SCT Pro 4-pole censored brushless motor and ESC, Incision stainless steel links, VP axle shafts, ProTech 130 tooth servo or 130T servo. He's got a Robinson Racing 17 tooth pinion, Robinson Racing upgraded transmission gears, Robinson Racing 85 tooth spur, and he says I put all thread in the drive shaft so they're stronger. Okay, I see what he did there. Upgraded wheel hub, moved the battery to the front. And he says this car is more performance than scale, but I'm going to try to make it look more real. Awesome, man. Awesome. So as far as the build classification goes, this is, it's a crawler / U4 bouncer category. And on a scale of 1 to 10, he rated this A4. So that's not too bad. That's not too bad. And he's being realistic. Now, as far as who he'd like to give a shout out to, he did not list anybody here. So I'm going to give a shout out to Brecon Brock for getting into this RC game here. It's fun stuff, man. And we're glad to have you. So, all right. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at these pictures. Now, again, bear with me because as I zoom in, they do lose quality here. But we're going to go ahead and see what we're working with. I mean, from what I can see here, you can't see a whole lot of modifications done or anything, and this is going to be a really mild, example of how to get into this and start building. He's really focused on making sure that it's going to last right now and that it's going to have good performance for what it is. So, I think he's off to a good start. It looks pretty good. He's got his driver in there. That's always a good touch right away. I'm not sure. Does that look like an antenna coming through the hood right there? It kind of looks like an antenna, doesn't it? I'm not so sure I'd have that coming through there. It looks pretty good, man. I can see that he's got links up front, so you definitely see he's got metal links here for his drag link and for his steering link. And it looks like stock wheels and tires. It kind of looks like I can see a servo wire there, but I'm not really sure. So, all right, let's go to the next picture. There we go. What we got going on here? Looks, does it look like that wheelbase is stretched out a little bit? It looks like he might have put a little length on the wheelbase there. I like that. It also looks like maybe he's got the knuckles flipped. We're going to have to look when we see the axles because you can tell that the stance is kind of low, and I like that. It's got a nice low stance to it. Not a lot we can see as far as customizing here other than the links, and the links do look really good. That's a good first upgrade to throw on there. And it would be nice to get some wheels and tires next. That way you can get some weight down low if you haven't done it already by now. Let's go to the next picture, what we got. This is from the back here. You can't really see much from the back either. I do see what looks like maybe a Poison Spyder diff cover down there, though. And did he mention that? I don't recall him mentioning that, but it did look like a Poison Spyder diff cover. Unless I'm tripping. Maybe that's just a shadow and some light coming through because the diff is right there, actually. So it's probably just a stock diff. All right, let's keep it going. There we go. It does kind of look like he flipped the knuckles. Not 100% sure, but it kind of looks like he flipped the knuckles. It's just real simple, man. Nice and clean. You don't have to do a lot. You're not going to be able to see some of the upgrades he mentioned, such as putting the all thread in the drive shafts. That's a really, really good upgrade to do. Just strengthens these, keeps them from flexing about and bending, which as they flex and bend, they actually warm up, and it starts to make them soft, and you can start to spin them, twist them, and you'll see that these ridges will start to go around, and it'll be twisted instead of straight. So, good move. Good move. It looks good, man. Nice and clean. Looks like it does get driven, but, it's hard to judge these stock rigs like this because there's really not a lot to go by. Everything is factory for the most part. I'm looking for upgrades or modifications, but there's really not a lot for me to go on. So this is kind of like a good example of when you're first getting into it and you're looking for ideas. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you some tips and stuff on where I would go from here. The first thing I would do is I'd probably get rid of the stock body here. I would start getting rid of the stock body and I'd go for a more realistic look. And I'm not going to lie, I'm not a fan of most of the bodies that come for that are made for the Wraith or for the Yeti for that part, or for that matter. It's just they tend to be like unrealistic, super bland and smooth, and like there's not a lot of detail, not a lot of kinks and crevices in the body. There's not a lot of sharp edges or anything, nothing that like makes it realistic. It doesn't look like panels on a buggy. It's just bland. It just looks like just a big sheet of color. I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. So what I would do is I'd get rid of this altogether, right? Completely. Whoop, and there we go. I'm hitting the wrong things there. I would get rid of it altogether, completely get rid of the Lexan body, right? And then you've got just a cage here. And then what I would do is I would go buy some fresh Lexan sheets, and I would start cutting panels that fit these cages, but instead of putting them on the outside, what I would do is I would cut the panels to fit on the inside of the cage. That way you can actually see the cage work over the outside of the panels. Whatever color you decide to paint the panels is on you. That's awesome. You can paint them, sticker them up, all that stuff, but put them on the inside of the cage. And then what that's going to do is give it like a kind of a more realistic look, in my opinion. It adds more detail to it. It adds more of a rough appeal to it, kind of like a raw appeal to it. Being able to see the cage work makes it look more buggy-ish, more realistic, something you'd see out on the rocks. And then by making individual panels like that, it's also a little bit more realistic, because a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times the panels are individual on these on the real life buggies. So now this isn't the most realistic way to attach it, but you can literally just use zip ties and drill some holes and run zip ties through the panels and around the bar work, you know, the plastic bars of the cage, in order to secure them. Or you can do like I did. I actually drilled holes and lined them up with the screw holes and ran the screws straight through. I got longer screws and ran them straight through to the actual cage work and into the Lexan on the back side of the cage work. That's what I did with my Grape 8 build. So that's probably the first thing I would do to give this a more realistic look. The second thing I would do was try to get some wheels and tires. If you can't afford to get some wheels and tires right now, which a lot of us can't, what I would do is I would go ahead and probably get some realistic hubs to go over these ones and try to make the hubs, you know, add to the realism of the wheel. Maybe get some brake discs to go behind them as well. It's a lot cheaper to buy brake discs than it is to buy new wheels. So another thing you could do is try to track down a matching spare tire and get that mounted somewhere in the back of the cage here. That would be kind of cool. Or if you don't want to do that, you could start to modify the back of the cage. A lot of people will cut the cage in different ways and heat it and bend it and reattach it down here by your shock towers or in different areas, and you can really make some cool combinations of cage modifications in the back to really make it your own. Honestly, I'm kind of a fan of the fact that you left it original, just because this is based off of a real buggy, and that is really how it looks in real life. So I like that you left it real like this. Maybe just throw some scale accessories in the back. If you don't have the money to get some, you can always, you know, build your own, like some of these other guys have done, doing things such as coolers or gas tanks, fire extinguisher. Those are all things you would find in a buggy a lot of times. A high lift jack, spare axles, you know, anything like that. And when I say axle, I don't mean the whole axle, I mean axle shafts. Lots of stuff like that. You could add some seatbelt harnesses to your seats. Just little things like that. And then a light kit will really bring it to life. The more lights you add to it, the better. That's how I feel about it. Depending on the model, you know. Sometimes if you're building an old 60s replica or something, you don't really have a lot of lights. So anyways, let's keep it going, you guys. I just want to give him some good tips there. You guys, please give him some tips, some feedback in the comments as well. It always helps these new guys and these younger guys that are just getting into this side of it and they're really just starting their build, or maybe they've just picked this one up and they're trying to get ideas on which direction to go with it. It'll really help get their wheels turning, you know. So, all right, let's keep it going here. Let's look at the front. You can see the servo action. You can see the servo horn there as well. Interior, looks like the guy might be drinking and driving a little bit. Yeah, this is pretty simple, straightforward. Factory interior action here. But I love the Wraith factory interior. Out of all the Axial factory interiors, the Wraith interior is my favorite. Ever look down on top? Yeah, it's a good looking rig, man. And that confirms it was not a aftermarket Poison Spyder diff cover like I thought it was. But that'd be a nice touch. All right. Oh, and there he is. There he is. There's Brecon Brock. What's up, man? Thank you very much for entering your build. I really, really appreciate it. Yeah, it just goes to show, you know, you don't have to be a 30-year vet to do this. You don't have to be a hardcore RC builder to do this, or somebody that's been doing it their whole life. This young man, you know, he entered his Wraith, and he was willing to put it on the chopping block for you guys to pick apart, and I really can respect that. I look up to that. So thank you very much, Brecon Brock. I hope I'm saying your name right, man. And all right, you guys, let's get on to the next build. Give this man some feedback. If you want to follow the scores, all that stuff, go ahead, check it out. www.extremescaleperformance.com. Slide on over the ScaleWars tab. Cruise down to the bottom. You can see the scoreboard there and keep track of all the scores since the very first episode. All right, let's do this. All right, you guys, we've got our second entry of the day. This one is submitted to us from a gentleman named David Preciado, is I'm guessing how you say that last name there. And he is, oh, check this out. We got an Oregon local. He is from LeGrand, Oregon. And actually, I used to live in LeGrand when I was a kid. I lived there back in like 93, maybe 94 for a little bit. Not that long. It was just short-lived. I actually spent a lot more time right down the road in Baker City. I went to school in Baker City a couple of times. So shout out to you, David. Shout out to Eastern Oregon and all the squad over there. Everybody that might be watching from Eastern Oregon. If you're in the audience right now, go ahead and leave a comment, man. Rep where you're from over there. A lot of small towns in Oregon nobody really knows about. It's really the Wild West over there. Excuse me, I had to drink that coffee. All right, so let's take a look at what we got going on. While you guys check this build out, and I'm actually really excited. He submitted these pictures, and this I did not have to zoom in on this. He submitted some large pictures here. Pretty cool. So let's see. David, other than being from LeGrand, he is 35 years of age. He has been subscribed to ESP. Well, what's he say here? He says, I have seen your shows now for a while, but I'm a young subscriber. So he must have just started, or he must have just clicked that subscribe button here recently. I'm guessing probably when I started the ScaleWars series. And then he says, as far as when he first started building RCs, he said, I first started when I was 11 years old. Still have my Traxxas Stampede 3610 model. He says, still kits back then. LOL is what he puts. So yeah, he knows about the old days. He's been around for a minute. He's 35. He started building when he was 11. Yeah, that's pretty much back when I started building. And then as far as this project name goes, he calls it True Blue. It's Axial Wraith Spawn RTR based. So the detailed parts and paint list goes something like this, and this might confuse you guys because it's not going to line up with this first picture that we're looking at here, but it'll make sense in a minute. Detailed parts paint list goes something like this. Laura Croft by Play Arts Kai. Tires are Pitbull XOR 2.2 by Pitbull. I'm just reading what he's got here. It says wheels are Method 2.2 race wheels, 1.2 inch wide. He says blue and black anodized by Vanquish. Tire foams by Crawler Innovations. Rear is double deuce 5 1/4 comp cut inner, medium outer. Front is double deuce 5 1/4 standard inner, firm outer. SLW 350 wheel hubs all around by Vanquish. Rock sliders by Scalar Fab painted electric blue. Rear end basket and Scalar Fab painted electric blue. Gearhead 110 scale trail torch LED light bar with blue side LEDs. Gearhead slimline roof rack. Gearhead LED light bar brackets. Axial Wraith interior set. Axial Wraith light bucket set, Axial 27 turn brushed motor, Axial Wraith drop box by Dinky RC, Wraith bottle opener rear bumper plate by Wording Made, LED lights and UF7 light controller by My Trick RC. Woo, this list, man. Fire extinguisher by thetoys.com, guns loose lot by eBay seller, diff covers by eBay seller. What else here? Axial Wraith aluminum body panel kit by Rep of Korea found on eBay. All electronics, a stock or our stock from Axial that come with the Wraith spawn. So he's running bone stock factory electronics. It says, next on my to-do list, rear links will be from RC 4-wheel drive or Blue Monkey. Fronts will be from Vanquish. Shocks to be by King Shocks or G-Made. Better solution for electronics. Front bumper by BGR Fabrications or Scalar Fab. Warn winch to come, and ARB lockers by ARB. Then all the little accessory stuff. So that's his plans. And then the build classification obviously goes in the crawler U4 bouncer category, and on rating his own build on a scale of 1 to 10, he rates it a 7. So he is pretty proud of it. And then who would you like to give a shout out to? Well, he says he would like to give a shout out to ESP. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate that. He says he would also like to give a shout out to Axial for a great product, and everyone that has a love for RC or any kind that has a love for RC of any kind, whether it's toy grade or hobby grade. So that's awesome. Shout out. Thank you very much. And I agree. Shout out to everybody that loves RC, no matter what kind of RC that is. We love all you guys, man. It's all one big family. It's all for fun. However, this show is all about the Axial family. So let's go ahead and dig into this Axial build here and see what we're working with. Now, you guys get ready for it. We're going to reveal the upgrade after it, because this is bone stock looking right here. So let's show it with all them parts that he was talking about. And which direction do I go? There we go. Boom. All right, here's our first look at it. Now, what's your initial thoughts, guys? How you feeling about this one? This guy's definitely done some work here. There's a lot of stuff to look at. I can tell you my initial thoughts are not going to be about all the cool stuff that I'm seeing, but more so, let's see if I can get this zoom right. Okay, there it goes. More so about why I am seeing this big old battery cable running right through the driver's seat and floorboard area, because that's killing it. That is killing it. I would have went ahead and hid that somehow. You got to get rid of that. Hopefully you have by now. There's a lot of places you can do it. What I like to do is run my cables. You can extend them. I like to either run them to the back if that's where the easiest access is, or I like to put them under the hood and make easy access here. However, it looks like you got straight bolts on your hood, sir. You're not messing around. Secured. Nobody's getting in there. All right, so as far as the picture goes, though, this is a really cool picture. And look at that organ background. Yeah. Could be a bear up there, a cougar or something. Methods looking real good. I like the methods. Scale hubs, of course, would set that off. Some brake discs. You know what I like. What do we got going on? These metal panels. Metal panels really are unique looking on this. I'm sure he mentioned it over here. Let me look back at this real quick. Who made those panels? Scalar Fab, Electric Blue. So the rock sliders are from Scalar Fab, which are those. Who made the panels, though? I'm sure I read it, but I am not seeing it. Rock sliders impact. Oh man, I am not seeing it anywhere. There it is, Axial Wraith aluminum body panel kit by Rep of Korea, found on eBay. So that's why I've never seen this before. I have no clue who Rep of Korea is on eBay. I don't do a lot of eBay shopping. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not knocking it. You can get all kinds of cool stuff on eBay. I have shopped on eBay, but I don't do a lot of it. So I have never seen this before. Definitely stands out. It's very unique, and it looks like it's hardcore, like it's all aluminum, which is really cool. Little bit gaudy, little extreme there, you know, a little flashy, a little bling blah, but overall it's pretty cool looking, honestly. And the fact that the methods match just looks killer. So there we go. And you know what? You get a lot of people saying, hey, you cannot mix these American-made Vanquish products with anything from anywhere other than America. But let's be honest, guys. Most of these RCs are manufactured in other countries. So it's, you know, it doesn't matter where you get your stuff, man. What matters is, do you like what you have, and do you have fun with it? Do you enjoy it? And how well does it work? You know, make sure that it works. If it works and it works, all right, cool. Who cares where it came from? Just make sure it's good. And I'm not going to lie, I love Vanquish stuff. I am a huge Vanquish fan, but I'm also a fan of things that work too. So if I get something from wherever this guy said he was from, Korea or wherever, whoop-de-whoop, I don't care. I just want it to work, all right? So if you sell me something that doesn't work, we're going to have a problem. That's what's important to me. So, oh, man, you got to get rid of that, though. I cannot stand that I'm seeing these battery cables right there. So, all right, on to the next picture. Whoop, back out a little bit more. There we go. Now, this is a cool shot. I like this picture a lot. Oh, there we can see a little bit in the back too. I see tow hooks. I also see rock lights underneath there. Nice. Yeah, this is looking good. I also see Wordy Made action right there. There's a bottle opener from Wordy Made. I love those. Wordy Made is the man. So you guys know I just talked to him yesterday on the phone. He is hilarious. Not many people is good spirited as Wordy Made. Let's see. Gun game is on point, man. You look like you're ready to go to war here. Like he is strapped up. All right, so rock sliders from Scalar Fab. I gotta say those are looking good. The off-coloring blue, I'm not so sure how I feel about that. I wish it matched a little better, or maybe it's all right. I mean, it's cool, but maybe if there was something else like that off-color blue on here, you know, to set that off, like some sort of logo or like a cool picture or something. For some reason, I pictured like a lion or something from like, you know, Transformers or like I don't know, like Thundercats. I have no clue where that came from. It's Saturday morning. Maybe I'm thinking cartoons. All right, on to the next picture. Underside looking pretty good. Not too bad. Not too shabby. I can't believe you're still running stock. I mean, I guess I can believe you're running stock links. I ran stock links on my Wraith forever, and they actually held up really well. So they're not like the SCX-10 stock links from back in the day where they would turn to butter. These ones actually hold up pretty solid, but I am expecting to see some upgrades pretty soon. I run the Wordy Made one. Since you're running Wordy Made stuff, I would recommend checking out Wordy Made's. He's got like back half cage pieces, and he's got some really sick trailing arm setups, things like that. Go ahead, peek at those on my Grape Ape, see if you like them. Good option. I like the skids. The skids are looking slick. No pun. You see what I did there? Looking slick. Yeah, I like it, man. Not a huge fan of the tire combination. It's nothing against Pitbull. I love Pitbull tires. I just don't like this tread pattern for some reason. It's not my favorite tread pattern, but that's just an opinion. That's just my personal preference. Those are some mushrooms. Holy cow, you got some mushrooms up in there. What are those, morels, right? Morels, I think. I've only been out to pick mushrooms like once in my life, and it was when I was a kid. I don't really remember it all that much, but I think they're morels. It's a big thing up here in Oregon, man. Picking mushrooms when mushroom season comes around, you can make a lot of money real quick if you know what you're doing and where to look. So, see, I love the sidewall on the Pitbulls. I like, you know, how the sidewall looks, all really aggressive and everything. I just don't like the main tread pattern on these Pitbulls specifically. Other Pitbulls I really, really like, actually. I'm a big fan of some of the other Pitbulls. But these ones, and I'm sure they work great because Pitbull's all about that traction. But I really don't like that tread pattern. So that's just my personal thing. I'm not saying that's going to knock you. I just don't think that's the most realistic looking pattern. I could be wrong. I mean, they may actually have this tire in real life, and I could just sound like an idiot, which is okay. I've done that before. I'm okay at being an idiot. But let's keep it moving. I'm not seeing anything other than panels and stuff right here to really look at or go over. I will say, though, on the last picture, you got to do something about this wiring. The wiring needs to be cleaned up quite a bit. It's a little messy looking under there. You could hide it somehow. Maybe try to run it through some, you know, I don't know. You could run it through some wire loom, or you could try to tape it up. I don't know. There's something. You could do something there. You got to hide that somehow. It's a little rough looking. But other than that, the underside looks pretty good. I'm not sure why you showed me all the mushrooms, but I thought it was pretty funny. There's a little bit more of an interior thing here. You can see where he's got the, what is going on? Is that how you, it looks like he's running his wires through here. I'm not sure how that works out, but that probably explains why I'm seeing wires all up in the floorboard all the time. I would definitely change that, run them up under the hood or in the back somewhere. You can hide them wires. I know you can. I like that you got the fire extinguisher on there, though. You got the wires for the roof tucked up pretty good, hidden pretty good. Yeah, not too bad, man. Not too bad. Looks good. Got the homegirl holding it down. She looks gangster. Was that like Laura Croft or something, I'm guessing? Got the skids. I'm really not seeing nothing else back here, man. There's a lot of details missing. You could really get into the realistic details. You look like you have a lot of fun with it, though, so I'm not hating on you. I like that you're having fun with it. But as far as realistic stuff goes, you're missing a lot of realism. You know, there's a lot of cool stuff on here, but you could do more. You know, you could definitely add some details, little things, lots of small details. The roof rack, though, CBE RC Fab, I recognize that logo. That's looking pretty cool. I like that. I definitely like that. Looks like you're taking a couple hard hits up here on the top. Yeah. I mean, she keeps mugging me. Is it just me, or is she like, she want to go a couple rounds, dude? Like, I can box. I'm not scared of you just because you got a gun on your hip. Yeah. All right, and there he is. There's my man right there. What's going down, brother? He's look at his smile. I mean, look at that. The guy obviously has fun with his RCs. He's got another Yeti in the background too, which shows he's really about his axial life. And some crazy drone-looking thing back there. Helicopter. Oh, Osprey. Is it an Osprey? It looks like an Osprey. That's like a Lego Osprey. That's pretty cool. So, yeah, man, shout out to you, David. I really appreciate you entering your build, man. Repping Eastern Oregon. Really, really cool. You guys, I want to see some more Oregonians in here. Everybody from Oregon better enter your builds. I want to see Oregon. We'll do an all Oregon episode if I get enough people to do that. So, anyways, matter of fact, rep your state. Everybody from your state. Get all your homies. Get all your friends. Get all your buddies. Whatever. Get them, everybody. All your mates, you know. Represent where you're from. I want to see you guys in the comment section. Get your builds together. Get your squad. Get your club. Everybody together. Get your builds entered in, man. I want to see this. Let's do a little rep. We'll do it from zone to zone. See if we can do like episodes for each location. That'd be pretty fun. Anyways, thank you guys very much for checking out David's build with me. I meant to say thank you, David. I don't know why I said thank you, guys. I'm not going to lie. But thank you, David. I really appreciate you submitting your build, man. It was awesome. We're going to move on to the next one now. See if I got some voice left. I'm really talking a lot today. All right, let's do this. All right, you guys, this is our third and final entry of the day. This one is submitted to us by a gentleman named WOYTENKO, I think is how you say that, WOYTENKO. And he actually submitted this a long time ago, back when I first started ScaleWars, and I didn't have a category really to slide it into yet. And it's a Wraith, so I wanted to get it in on today's. I think it's pretty cool, and it's not finished, I don't think, in this submission, but it's really, either way, I think it's a really cool build. It's definitely something we can take a look at. It's unique. So Troy is all the way from Nova Scotia, Canada. And he is 43 years of age. He is, let's see, he's been subscribed to ESP for about 2 weeks at the time of submitting this, which was quite a while ago. And let's see, he started building RCs in 1985, but was out of RC for a long time. He just got back into it last summer. This project name, he calls it the Repeat Offender. Is an Axial Wraith, and it is his first RC truck in 30 years. Now, as far as the complete parts and paint list goes, let's see what he's got written here. It's a little harder for me to read through this just because of the format I have this in, and you guys really just kind of jumbled together. It's an AE2 ESC stock 20-turn motor, homemade 4-link. He's got a $50 eBay air-filled beadlock rim setup, stock... Oh, what does it say? Stock shocks. He actually says socks. I think he meant to say shocks there. And then homemade 4-pole pistons with 30-weight Harley-Davidson oil. Interesting. Homemade aluminum forward battery mount. Homemade wheel wells. Stock interior for now, but that too will be replaced with one that he makes, he says. $10 eBay steering linkage. Homemade fuel cell and one-off handmade body, all styrene that is made to fit on a stock Wraith. Tube frame held in place with just 4 screws, which is pretty cool. He says, I work on this a bit each day and still a long way from paint. And I will have side mirrors and one in the cab. New seats also made at my home. ESS1 sound unit is on the way, but that is it. Going to keep the electronics in it that came with it, and will upgrade them as they are needed. I love this rig and the setup it has now, and I run it all all the time with the body on, and if I hit something hard, then I fix it and move on. She is not a shelf queen. The pick of it outside with the body on it was minus 30 degrees Celsius. Holy cow, man. He says, with the wind chill. He says, damn cold, but fun as hell. He says, build classification is, well, he's got it in the he calls it off-road world explorer is how he classifies her. Trail and crawler classification. And then rate your own build on a scale of 1 to 10. He rated his a 6. Okay, so that's not too bad. It says pretty modest. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Let me sip on this coffee real quick. Honestly, first impressions, I think it's intense. It reminds me of something like a Batmobile meets a rock bouncer. Something like, you know, definitely from someone with quite the imagination. Somebody that, you know, can think outside the box, that's for sure. My second impression is, holy cow, man, you put a lot of time and effort into a body for a Axial Wraith. That is something I don't think I've ever seen before. I've seen it a lot for, you know, SCX10s and, you know, other things, but never for an Axial Wraith, man. It's really cool. This is essentially a hard body Wraith, which is not something you see every day. Now, I see people, you know, build Wraiths up into like 1/8 scale or 1/5 scale or 6 scale or whatever rigs, you know, with hard bodies. I've seen that plenty, but not leaving them as an actual Wraith, rock bouncer, rock crawler, buggy, whatever you want to call it, rock racer, rock runner, rock everything. Like it's just with the cage and all that, and then putting the body around. I've never seen that. So I don't know if you guys have seen something like that before. Let me know in the comments. The second thing is, I think it's really cool that you did the reversing hood like that with the cool, like there's like a whole setup right here. This is pretty cool, man. I think that's slick. I'd like to see in the back more. It kind of reminds me of like a Dakar rally racer. Like you could really convert this into a Dakar rally racer pretty easy is what I feel like. It looks cool, man. I think it's great. The doors, like Gullwing style doors or whatever, those are slick. Okay, what are we looking at here? Is this some foam, or how did you do all this here? What am I looking at? The start of the interior, maybe? The start of the firewall? There's going to be a lot of random pictures in here because this is before I had a picture structure to you guys for the submissions. So, okay, so he really submitted a lot of the build pictures from this, kind of like you would a thread on a forum or something. Here you can see a whole bunch of the work going into this, the hinges and everything. Really cool, man. I mean, you put a lot of effort into this. Oh, look at the drawing up there of it. That's cool. You got it all drawn out and then just went for it. I'm impressed, man. I think that's really cool. This is a great example of styrene work. It doesn't always have to be, you know, a Toyota or a Jeep. I mean, you can make whatever you want to make, really. I mean, look at this. Look at the, you know, the reinforcement and stuff he's got on this, the structure. That's going to help. He's going to bend that over that probably. And I mean, that's really cool, dude. That is really cool. Let's just keep moving through these because he's got a lot of pictures, so I'm going to go kind of quick through this one. Interior stuff. You can see where he's kind of getting everything lined up. It's pretty cool, man. This is like a little dramatic, this whole thing here, but I get it. You know, it's a futuristic looking vehicle. Who knows what it is? I mean, who am I to like tell you how it should look? I don't even know what it's based off of. I don't know what it's meant to be, but it looks really cool. It looks like, you know, it's definitely something that you wanted to build, and it fits your style and what you were seeing in your head. And I mean, the fact that you went out of your way to do this and build it, just, I respect that. It's not my look. I wouldn't want to drive this based on the fact that this isn't what I would see in my head. And, you know, when I see something in my head, this isn't what it looks like. But that doesn't mean that I can't respect somebody else's vision. This is really cool, man. Like, the stance on it is aggressive. It reminds me of something out of, like, the new Fast and the Furious, or, like, I don't know. It's just aggressive. Like a monster truck body meets, you know, a Dakar rally racer meets, some war buggy machine. Like, it's just cool. Oh, look at the homemade fuel cell. Oh, that's really cool. I like that. Look at all that. Awesome job, man. I'm not sure if that's hot glue. I can tell you right now, if you're over here where I'm at, that would not work. Over here in the U.S. and like the South and the West, and like, you know, there's just a lot of places in the U.S. lately that just get really hot. This would all melt and fall out in no time. But it looks like you were in the cold area, Nova Scotia, I mean, up in the north, so I don't think you have to worry about that. Awesome, man. This thing is just killer looking. Great job. I think that's just about it for the pictures. Nope, we still got more. We still got more. I mean, the rims are looking good. There's really not a lot I can say about this. This is more just me kind of showing off this guy's build, because what do I say? You know, I can rate it and stuff. I'm going to give him a score, but the score is really not going to reflect the build properly because it's not done, you know, in this submission, but it's the effort that I'm really liking. I mean, as far as built not bought goes, that's one of the categories I rate people on. This is definitely going to get a higher score as far as that goes. Oh, there he is. What's up, Troy? That's my man right there. I appreciate you submitting your build, man. It looks like you got some serious hours into this thing. Cannot wait to see how it turns out. I hope you'll resubmit it again, completely finished. I'd like to see it all painted up, and lots of scale details and everything would be really cool. But at the end of the day, I am pretty impressed. And you went above and beyond when it comes to what you need to do for a buggy. I mean, I've never seen somebody do something like this on an Axial Wraith before. So shout out to you for being the first, man, and introducing me to this type of a build. It's pretty cool. I'm glad I was able to show it off to everybody. So you guys let him know what you think in the comments. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Is it something you would rock? What would you do next? You know, have you built something similar? I mean, just jump in, be a part of the conversation. But remember the rules, you guys. Nothing rude, nothing negative. I mean, you can tell somebody if you don't like something without being rude about it, without being a negative, you know, person. So go about it in a polite way if you don't like it, or if you don't like anybody's stuff. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that just build differently, and there's a lot of people that have, you know, what they expect when they come on here. And so we all are different. We all have our different tastes, and that's kind of why I got this show going, is because, you know, there's a lot more to show out here than just what I build. I like to see what all you guys build as well, and I think it's a great platform to show everything off and to see the different styles from around the world. So awesome, man. This is a great shot. I wanted to go, whoop, that's what I was going back to. I wanted to see that right there. This is, I think this is cool. You can see all the snowflakes in the air still, and just, I don't know, I think that's cool. But anyways, that's it for today. Thank you very much, Troy. I really appreciate that. You guys, I'm going to get up off of here. I got a car show to go to, and I apologize for having a late episode today. You know, I ain't perfect, but they will be out every Saturday. So you know what it is, everybody. Peace and chicken grease, and I'm going to see you on the trails. Yeah.